Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2022. I know it's been a while since I've made a video, and it's been a while since I've released a mod, but here we are today. Hopefully it's all worth it. This is what I've been working on in the meantime. This is a 2022 Ford F600 with a 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel, as you can see down there. So the F600 is above the F550. I believe it came out around 2020, and it has a 2,500 pounds higher gross vehicle weight rating than the F550. So it has 2,500 pounds more capacity to payload. I figure if I'm doing a bucket truck, service truck, utility truck, whatever this is, you can customize this as much or as little as you want. But I figured I'm just going to go with the top one, F600. So, anyways, speaking of customization, you can customize this a lot. This is one configuration. I have a ton of configurations bought here. We'll walk you through a bunch of them. But this is pretty much what it started out as. It had a 2011 cab on it, but this truck was originally a 2011 Ford F350, 450, whatever it was, extended cab. I ripped that off. Then I did a ton of edits to the cab. This cab I've used before on a couple other trucks I did. You may notice it from the service truck, and I also did a pickup truck version of this truck. But the bed got pretty much whole redesign, remodel. I added a ton of stuff and fixed a ton of issues with it. So here we are. We have a bucket truck configuration here, and I also made this reel trailer. I figured this would go perfect with the bucket truck. This is a Stellar Industries ICH 10K reel trailer. So I got a spool on there. This is a hydraulic lift. So you just have a 12-volt battery in this little box here, and a pump. And then you just hit the lever, raise and lower your reel. If you want to pick it up, drop it off. Then you got your reel for cable, for installing power lines, things like that. But anyways, let's talk more about the truck. While the trailer is a neat accessory to complement it, I'll just show you that. We got a couple options on the trailer too. We got work lights on back, and I also put strobes on there too. So you can have strobes on the trailer and strobes on the truck. Speaking of strobes on the truck, look at all the strobes. Got strobes in the grill, all fully customizable too. So you can choose whether you want the strobes in the bed, the grill, the light bar on top of the cab, whether you want the beacons on the body. So a lot of customization there. They're all individual store options. But back to the truck. So this one, we got this winch too. I made this winch mount. It is a Warn transformer winch carrier. And then I put a Warn Xeon 12 Platinum winch in there. And it does work. I'll show you here. So you can, pull logs with it. I have another truck set up with some logs that will show you. It does actually work. But I just wanted to point that out. I see these winches a lot on bucket trucks. You can customize this too. I have a couple other configurations with other bars and light bars and stuff. And then I also added these orange markers. I see a bunch of bucket trucks had those too. I'm guessing so if you're in tight spots, you can see where the edge of your truck is. The original truck did not have a DEF fill port here, so I added that. A little more realistic. So a lot of the cab and chassis trucks, the DEF fill port is actually behind the cab. So I added that for a little bit more realism. Also, this truck is a service function. You just come over here, hit M, and then you got your cones out, and then you could drive a vehicle in here and customize it. I'll show you that on another truck probably. But speaking of opening the doors here, close that up. All the doors open. well, there's not much in them. You can add whatever you want into them in Giants Editor, but I figured I'd at least, keep the option to open the doors. The doors did open originally, and I kept it. So this is one configuration. What else? I added from the original truck, I added a little toolbox under here. This WeatherGuard Pack Rat toolbox, I added that. There was empty space down there, and it just looked a little weird. So I figured I'd add another toolbox because you can never have enough places to put tools on a service truck like this. I guess I forgot to mention, too, this bucket is fully operational. We'll go ahead and back this trailer up. I don't usually go crazy with hitches and attachment joints either, but I figured for this truck it was worth it. And trailer, so the jack does work on the trailer, and the electrical hookups do work. So there you go, it attaches and detaches the electrical cable, and also the pintle hitch. The pintle does close when you attach the trailer, and when you detach it, it is open. So we'll go ahead and show you the bucket. It's probably going to be a long video because there's a lot to show you on this truck. We got it running, obviously. You got the outriggers down, and we can go ahead and raise the boom. Not like that, but this is better. And the bucket does stay level at all times. So me and a buddy went through and completely redid the controls on the boom from the way they originally were. So now they make a little bit more sense. And here we are at the light. So you can get out, and it's right there. The boom controls are similar to the way Edwin Frederick from Wood Meadow Farms does his. You can also have a camera for the bucket, interior camera, and then a camera as if you're in the bucket, like that. So it's pretty cool. And then when you're done, you can just fold it up. Bucket goes back to the original position, and you are good to go. So we'll go ahead and attach the trailer back to it. We'll drive around a little bit, I guess. Does exactly what you need for driving around. Some other things that I added from the original mod were this igloo cooler and the vise on the back, as well as that little work light here, and the 811 call before you dig sticker. I added these work lights on the back of the truck too. I guess speaking of work lights and strobes and all that, we'll go ahead and make it the nighttime, and we'll show you what this truck looks like at night. So as you can see, plenty of light, plenty of strobes. Strobes just all over the place. I think this truck came out awesome. I really like it. Alright, so we'll go back to the daytime. At 9 o'clock. We'll bump it forward to noon. 2 o'clock. Alright. So, next up, we'll take a look at another configuration of this truck. Like I said, we have more options for the Warren Transformer winch mount bumper as well. I think it's going to be thundering. We'll set that to sunny. So we have the winch here. We have this little bar going over it, like a kind of a protection for the grill. And we also have a light bar mounted on top of it, which the light bar does work, of course. So there's another option for the Warren Transformer winch carrier. We also have a little bit different bed setup. So we don't have any of the tools back here, but we do have these two boxes. No igloo cooler, no vise. And I guess I should mention too, these cones that are in the bed, when you activate the service function, those cones deploy. M, and then those cones will go out to here. So now you have the cones out, and you can drive whatever you need in to service it and upgrade it. So we'll go ahead and close this back up. It does take a second. Cones go back in there. I also added this cab protector here. And it does have some lights. There are a couple options for the cab protector as well. So I have this plain version as well as there's a version that has work lights in it. I'll show you that on another truck as well. But the lights on the cab protector are turn signals and running lights, and they're also brake lights. I was like, it just looked a little plain without the cab protector. And I figure if you got stuff in the bed, you don't want it coming up and flying up and hitting the back glass, because this body actually originally didn't even have this front wall in here. So I added that, but still that's not a lot to protect you from anything you may have in the bed. So anyways, there's that truck. Plenty of strobes as usual. On to the next one. Oh, this one has steps on the truck too. There's this truck as well. This one's pretty similar. Actually the same. It just has a plow mount instead, which is an option. You could, of course, add a plow. Try to put a plow mount on all of my mods. And, of course, they have tension belts too. I don't think I mentioned that. But here you go. You got tension belts, so you can strap down whatever you need. Alright, now we're looking at this truck. This has a plow on it. Probably not going to be plowing too many driveways with this truck, but if you got a big open area that needs to be plowed, this will do it just fine. Or parking lots or something like that. Probably going to be a case of, hey, we got this truck, let's just throw a plow on it. Might as well. This truck's got tinted windows. It's another store option, obviously. You know, it'll push a lot of snow just fine. Probably don't want to have the igloo cooler on here with water in it if you're plowing, but you can do whatever you want. Lots of options to customize this truck here. Another thing is this truck has a side step on it versus the other trucks that I showed previously have a box here. So we'll see if I can find one of those. We'll go through all our trucks here. Yeah, this truck here has a box on the side. The box just opens like normal. And it's a box instead of a step. So I figured that you probably want to have an extra box instead of a step, since you can just get in the back. No problem. With a configuration like this. The steps are originally for the bucket truck, and the bucket truck, you get the steps by default. There's no option to select this box here. So that's why I added the box. I figured you want more storage instead of steps. You don't really need the steps on a service truck like this. This truck also has this winch here. You can see I have this grill guard too, this bigger one. So we'll go ahead and turn this around. Oh, there's the other truck I was just in. I'll show you that the winch works. Now, the winches on these trucks are usually for, like, if you get the truck stock, you get the, you hook up the winch to a tree or whatever. But this is a limitation of the game that you can only pull logs, fortunately. So, I'll show you. You can hook up to logs, and then you can pull the log. I gotta start it. You can pull logs around all day. Maybe in the future somebody will figure out a way to make the winch pull vehicles, but for the time being, you cannot. So you can just go ahead and unhook this. And the hook goes right back here. I did think it was a nice touch to tie in the hook from the winch and the little tow hooks on the side. You get the tow hooks on the side of this worn transformer winch carrier because you are bolting it into where the factory tow hooks go. So putting a couple extra tow hooks on there, if you do need to use them, you can still pull the truck out. But another winch carrier up front with more accessories. I really like this configuration. Oops. This is the cab protector with the backlights on it too. So there's this one with the lights, and there's the version without the lights. A little more protection with the ones without the lights, but I figured some people might want the lights, so there you go. You got lights on the back. So we'll go ahead and drive right in front of that car there over to our other truck. This is an enclosed service body truck. We'll just park right on the sidewalk because we're a work truck. We can do that. I wish there was a way that you could get cones. Like open the door and pull out some cones and then drop the cones off. There's kind of a way to do it. I experimented with it, but I didn't have much success. So it was kind of glitchy, and I just gave up on it. I figured it wasn't really worth it because the cones, when you could have the cones spawn in here, then you could drop them off. But then when you drove away, the cones are tied to the truck, so the cones kind of come with you. It was just a little weird, and I didn't think it was a good idea. So I scrapped that. But anyways, this is the enclosed service body option. See a lot of towns with these trucks for like the water department or just sewer department, stuff like that. You know, you'd have probably shelves full of miscellaneous hoses and fittings and pipes and whatever. So it'd be a good truck for that. I got a bunch of options for this truck too. So you got ladders on the side. You can also put a couple boxes for more storage for long items. We'll go ahead and show you here. We can jump in the back. You know, the door's obviously open. Open that up, and we're in. It's not super tall, so you have to duck down a little bit, I guess. But we just got a couple basics, some cones, generator, light, extension cord, bucket, fire extinguisher, some pliers and stuff over there. And I think I'm stuck. I'm stuck on something. It's not really meant to, you know, you walk in and stuff, but I don't know what I'm getting stuck on. Anyways, yeah, you got pliers here, little oil cans. It's mainly just for decoration in here. And then when you get the igloo cooler, it goes inside versus being out here if you have the enclosed option. No reason to have it exposed when you can put it inside. So we'll go ahead and close up the door. Obviously, you're going to need simple IC for this mod as well. I'll leave a link to download all that in the description. Now let's talk about the cone holders. So I had a ton of ideas for the cone holders, but I finally settled on this idea because it was the simplest. These mounts are pretty similar to an actual mount you can buy. They tie right into the tow hook mounts, similar to the worn winch transformer mount, which ties into the factory tow hook bolts. So I went with these. I made them. You can get either both or left or right, depending on whichever you want. Obviously, I don't recommend using these with the snow plow, since the plow will just go right through them. But I guess you can if you want. Customize it however you want. Interior. I don't think I showed the interior yet, but the interior is fine. Doesn't have working gauges or really anything fancy. Work truck. It's fine. Has mirrors. It works. It's good enough. Not really a big interior guy. I spent all my time on everything else but the interior of this truck. So anyways, there's that. There's the enclosed service body option. The beacons you can get left or right or both up here. So that's that truck. What else do we have to cover? I think that's about it. We'll go ahead and look at the options in the store. So if we go in the store, it's under cars, the truck's under cars, the real trailer is under miscellaneous on the trailer section right here. Stellar Industries ICH 10K real trailer, 10,000 pound capacity. You can get rear work lights. You can get strobe lights. You can change the hitch height depending on what truck you want to pull it with. So if you're going to pull it with the F600, I would recommend you use the default setting of the middle, but you can change it up or down depending on other trucks. Cable reel, yes or no as well. So we'll go back to the truck. $120,000, it's pretty cheap. You couldn't get one for that. These trucks are expensive as they are. Even just the chassis alone, they're like $80,000 or something ridiculous. A bucket truck body is probably another $100,000. But anyways, one thing I didn't mention is trim levels. So you got a couple trim level options. So you got the XL, which is black bumpers, black bumper, because you only got one, the front black bumper, the black grill, and I actually redesigned the grill on this truck from the previous trucks that I'd used this cab on. The XL black grill is a little different than the XLT chrome grill, so I had adjusted that and made that distinction. I really wanted to be 100% as accurate as I could on this truck, so that's why I did that. Anyway, so we got the XL. We got black bumper, black grill, black tow mirrors with no turn signal. If you get the XL value package, you get the chrome front bumper. In real life, you get other stuff. I think you get cruise control, stuff like that. But I just wanted to put it in since maybe you want a chrome bumper and a black grill. And then we got the XLT. I'm sure in real life you get more stuff with XLT. You probably get a bigger radio and whatever. But in the game, you get chrome bumper, chrome front grille, and then turn signals in the mirrors. Strobe light bar, pretty self-explanatory. You got the strobe light bar up on top of the cab. Headlight strobe, self-explanatory. You got the strobes and the turn signals up front. LED strobes. You got grill, bed, or both. I do that because if you have a plow on the front and you don't want your strobes reflecting off the back of the plow and blinding you in the face, you can get just the bed configuration or both, whatever you want to do. Bed configuration, I didn't really know how to name a lot of these things. A couple of these options were carryovers, so they kind of overlap, but you can definitely see what they do, so the name's not too important. So you can get welder, compressor, air reels, all these boxes, just tons of different options. The air reels, when you get the air reels, you could also get a beacon in place of that air reel. So they don't clip together, you just lose an air reel when you got the beacon, like that. So we'll go back up, we'll go to body configuration as a bucket. You can get no bucket with the side steps, so you got the side steps here like I was talking about. And then you can add the cab protector without the work lights, and then you can add the work lights. And then you have the bucket without the side steps, and you get the other toolbox. Same thing, you can have the cab protector with no light or with the light. And then here's the enclosed service body that we looked at a little while ago. And then you can configure this a little differently too. Also, you can also put handrails on the enclosed service body if you wanted to. I figure it might be a little tough to get up on top of there. You'd have to be like grabbing at the vise or something to climb up on the back of there. So I gave some handrails. Try and maintain 3 points of contact when you climbing up on the back, I guess. The enclosed service body options, you got nothing. You got the boxes along the side or ladders, and then you can configure it how you want, both, whatever. But I thought the ladders were a nice little touch. Mud flaps come standard with these rear mud flaps. Dejana truck equipment. You can also add front mud flaps if you would like. You cannot have front only. That would be kind of weird. Rear hitch. You got the ball hitch or you got a pintle hitch. Like I showed earlier, the pintle hitch does work. It'll work with any pintle trailer. It's not anything that's to do special with the real trailer that I made. The opening and closing is on the trucks. So any pintle hitch, it will work with this. It will open and close for it. The bed beacons, like I showed earlier, it also works with the enclosed service body. Instead of having them on the little pedestals, they're on the top of the service body. You can get a vise or choose not to have it. Cab steps, you can get cab steps. I'd recommend it. These trucks are pretty high up. But if you don't want them, you don't have to get them. Bed toolboxes, that's for more of open enclosed service or open body. So the boxes are these on the left side here. You can get these two is what you're configuring there. Igloo cooler, you can do yes, no. Rear hitch height. So I would recommend using the standard hitch height of high for the real trailer. If you have other trailers, you may need to adjust the height though. So you may need a lower one. So if you get the lower one, you get another step too. So if you're looking to pull any other trailers around that are too low, you can use the low hitch height. Plow mount, obviously, I showed earlier, you get a plow. Can't use it with the winch, obviously. Front orange markers, you get these markers to mark the corner of your truck. Then you got the winch and cone holders. You got the cone holders for the option for both. Option for either left or right as well as the option for the worn winch. Adding on the short grill guard, adding on a light bar, and adding on a tall grill guard. We'll get the one with the light bar. I don't think I showed that. And then you can get window tint if you want. Then you get a block heater too if you want. Just a little extra detail that I thought would be cool to add. Not functional or anything, but if you're getting a plow truck, you want a little more realism, get a block heater. So you get this little plug hanging out the front here. I actually modeled this plug since I couldn't find a 3D model of it. I actually made the plug in SolidWorks because I couldn't quite get it in Blender. So I made it in SolidWorks, exported it to Blender, and then I edited it. So we have our worn transformer winch carrier with the worn Xeon 12 Platinum winch, and then we get a light bar up top. Just tons of customization options. I wanted to make this truck the ultimate service truck, utility truck, bucket truck, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to make the ultimate truck. So I was about to release this truck, and I thought, I think this truck is missing something. So I got kind of carried away, and I made a pressure washer for this truck. So here we have it. Here's the pressure washer. You can choose this in the store options. You can put it on any of the trucks that don't have the bucket on them. So here it is back here. If you want to use it, you have to fill up your truck first with water. Holds 350 liters of water. Put a little water tank here. Figured, if you want to clean off your equipment before fixing it, what better way than a pressure washer? So we come back here, we hit R, and it just behaves like a regular pressure washer. Just like the standard in-game one that you can place down on the ground by your farm. You can also adjust the pressure. So 1 and 3 will reduce the pressure. I have it at 4,000 PSI pressure washer. You can go pretty far with it. But yeah, there's the pressure washer, and now our skidder is clean. And if we want to turn it off, just go back over here and turn it off. I'll show you a little bit more about the pressure washer. So I had taken this Honda engine off of another mod. I wanted it because it was very detailed and it had the electric start. So I wanted one with electric start because who wants to pull a rope? Real life or farm sim. So we have the electric start. I have a battery box there for the electric start, and I ran the wires for the electric start to the starter. Very detailed, actually. I spent a lot of time with this pressure washer. I found a pump. This is a Novi Reverbi pump. So I put that on the Honda GX390, and then I ran the intake water from the tank to the pump, and then from the pump to the hose reel. Goes around back, and then, you know, theoretically you'd connect your gun to the hose reel. And I even added a quick coupler to the end of the hose here. And there's another look at the battery box with the battery, and then you can kind of see the wiring there. I'll zoom in. So there's the wiring. It connects to the starter and the starter solenoid, and the key start switch is hooked up and everything too. But way more detail than I probably needed to include on this, but I have fun with details like this. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment. I will leave a link to download the truck, the real trailer, and the simple IC mod down in the description below. So thank you for watching, guys. I will catch you guys again in the next video.